Hello everybody, Jacob here for another video, and this one is about finding a wife in Asia. And mostly this is about how to avoid all the scammers and find actual girls that actually exist and aren't trying to scam you. Okay, so in this video, we're going to run through a lot pretty fast because I'm trying to fit everything here into one video before we leave for Asia. So I have been doing some preliminary online dating. Really, my preference is to date in person, but for the sake of helping you guys all out there also, I've dove into some of this stuff for you. I'm going to share my screen with you. We're going to talk about some specific stories. I'm going to, toward the end of this video, go into kind of a case study I did with one of the more advanced scammers. And I will share with you a trick that I've learned that really does help, something you put in your profile dating that will really help weed out all the not serious girls. So that'll be toward the end of this video also. So let's dive right into my screen here and let's start talking specifically about dating softwares and dating sites.
A new place, a new home for a while. Let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back. Take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by. Life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, something new.
So actually, before we dive into my computer screen, let's actually just talk quickly about dating sites in general, and also make sure I make it clear right away that every single dating site is full of scammers. Some of these might be as much as 90% scammers. So be very, very careful if you get on any of these things into believing that what you see is real. You will get hundreds of messages from hundreds of girls. They look unbelievable, and 90% of them are not real. And so you can go down a rabbit hole, waste so much time. And so just prepare yourself ahead of time. Don't do it. It's very tempting. You get a message from a beautiful girl, and it's your mind wants to believe it's real. It isn't. So anyway, there is that first of all. Now, as far as specific dating sites, um, honestly, one of the most common ones probably is Tinder. Tinder is throughout Asia, and in Asia, it's not just a hookup site. All kinds of girls are on Tinder, so that's kind of just a kind of an easy go-to, um, one like that. But it's not the one that I'm going to be showing you. I have actually decided to sign on to one of the international companies' sites, Cupid Media, and I've specifically we're going to look at Vietnam Cupid. But the reason I've done that is because the platform allows me um, to filter the results very, very precisely. And Tinder doesn't allow you to do that. On Tinder, you can filter the results to some extent, but it's not like you can do on these sites. So I want to be able to filter the results to very specific qualities of girl. So reason for me personally is that I've never had kids, and I would like to have kids, and and I'm looking for a girl that is physically active like I am, and I'm looking for a girl that is educated similar to me, and a lot of things. I mean, I'm that sort of shrink the numbers quite a bit for me, and and if you're curious, yeah, I'm looking for a girl in the U.S. too, but the number of girls that are of like childbearing age, I guess you might say, like young enough to have healthy enough, young enough to have children. Not very many of them are thinking to date a guy who's in his later 40s, right? So it really limits the dating pool for me here. In Asia, they're much more flexible on age gaps, and there's just lots more women there looking to date a foreigner, so you have a lot more selection, and so even with my very specific um, needs, I can still have a fair number of girls that I could get dates with. So yeah, that's why that's me personally, and so that's why we're looking on Vietnam Cupid. So now we're looking at my screen for Vietnam Cupid, and right here there's match criteria. So I have already sorted this out so that I get down to what are probably realistic prospects and not scammers. The certain way to not find scammers is to look at one like this that has this green check mark, says verified. And notice I've got a few that are verified in here. I have talked to a couple of these verified girls, and they're definitely real girls. I mean, so I am seeking out the verified profiles. Now, I've also got a few in here that are not verified that might be fake, and I've been able to, figure that out relatively quickly. So we're gonna we're gonna look at that now, is how to tell which ones are real and which ones are fake. Okay, now we're back on my home screen again here, and let's get a little more detailed about how to spot scammers. So once you have filtered your results that you're only getting the most likely candidates, then the next thing is to, well, for one, the ones that look too good to be true are usually too good to be true. If they look like professional photos shot by a professional photographer in a studio, I mean, it's it's be skeptical, right? If you see a photo that looks like a regular girl, like this looks pretty regular girl, you know, this one, the ones that are verified look like regular girl photos. You know what I mean? They don't look like someone was in a photography studio. So the ones that look a little too professional, you should be skeptical of right away. Then the next thing is, if you start communicating with any of these girls, you're going to find out that very quickly their location isn't the location that says, right? So you click on it, they said, "Oh, I'm actually in this other country. I was just visiting Vietnam." Well, that's instant scammer. Like, that's just because they just want to string you along in a conversation and try to scam you into something. So the ones that are not in the location they say, after you start talking to them, immediate problem. So now I've clicked on messages and we're looking at my inbox. And you'll notice there is a section called filtered. And I have programmed the filter to weed out all the emails that are from a country of which I don't plan to visit. And that weeds out currently 326 messages that are from countries that I don't plan to visit. So 99.999% scammer. That helps a lot. Now, of the ones that are of the countries I plan to visit, we still have a high frequency of scammers. But let me show you a couple examples just to make sure that you just don't fall into this trap. So when I click on filtered, let's just look at what's coming in. Notice immediately, United States, United States, United States, United Kingdom, Hong Kong, Warrington. There's one from Vietnam that's in here. That just means that they're don't meet my qualifications in some other way. Means but primarily these are just filtering out people who are not in um, the countries I'm planning to visit fairly quickly. I am planning to go to Philippines, but I'm not ready to be talking to anyone new in Philippines. So um, we got people from Ukraine and all over the world sending messages, right? So I can just you can just be sure. You can be sure that, look at this one for instance. A 34-year-old beautiful woman from Los Angeles is not going to contact you on Vietnam Cupid if it's like never going to happen. It's probably not going to happen on any dating site for a guy like me, 40 something years old, right? This is a complete scammer 99.99% every single time. So just ignore these kind of things. They're not real. Don't waste your time. That's the lesson here. Just filter out all these messages, ignore them. They're not real. They will find a way to scam you right away. And so, actually, while we're in here, though, one thing that is for sure is that they will. This is the message that we're going for. They will ask for your WhatsApp number first. Almost all of them are going to say WhatsApp. Ask for your WhatsApp. Um, and I don't know if we just randomly. There's a couple of these I've probably clicked and looked at, but you'll find a lot of these. The first thing they tell you is their WhatsApp number. Of course, naturally, when I'm looking, I won't find one, but that the WhatsApp is like the home of the scammers. And I actually have a question for you guys that are watching this, and that is there any way to take your personal number out of WhatsApp? I mean, how do you get WhatsApp to hide your phone number? Because what happens is the minute you try to talk to a girl on WhatsApp and she's a scammer, now you got junk text messages coming to your phone, right? So WhatsApp is terrible because you can't get your phone number out of it, and if a scammer gets a hold of that, then they've got your phone number. So so yeah, anyone watching, if you know how to do that, put it in the comments because to be able to, sometimes you want to find out if a girl's really a scammer. Well, how do you talk to her, right? If they ask for your WhatsApp right away, scammer. If they're not in the country you're looking to travel to, scammer. Um, if the pictures look ridiculously professional, scammer. Um, then the next thing is when you're talking to these girls is um, besides trying to get you off the platform and on WhatsApp, um, if they're rushing you off to talk on another platform, even if it's not WhatsApp, that's questionable right away. Usually they'll actually want to talk to you a little bit and get to know you before they're giving out their personal information. But my suggestion is if you want to test out any of these, use the app called Telegram. Telegram doesn't show your personal information. Now, the problem is if you get a scammer on Telegram, now you're going to get a bunch of scam Telegram messages that'll start coming in to you, random ones from all different with beautiful pictures that are all fake, right? So, so whatever way the scammer gets your contact information, they're going to use it against you. The ones that are real girls will hopefully have Facebook. And if that's true, and you can get onto Facebook, and you can see they have a profile that they've had for a length of time, with posts and maybe their family or what have you. Well, that's pretty solid. Sometimes you'll find a Facebook profile, however, that is just 5 pictures and it was made 3 months ago and it's a completely fake Facebook profile. So there is that, but you can start to judge someone by their Facebook. And Facebook Messenger, doesn't give out your personal information. So other than it does give you, someone access to your personal Facebook. So, but I think for me, the first place to try to communicate is Facebook. If I'm concerned about them being a scammer, I can test it out with Telegram, and then I just live with the Telegram scam messages that come in. Or, of course, just go back and only talk to verified profiles. And having said that, verify your own profile because when I'm talking to these real girls who have verified profiles, I'm finding out that that they also have scammers trying to scam them. So they're going to be more likely to talk to you if you have a verified profile. So you'll have to go in and load your passport or identification into the system so they can verify that it's you, that you really are you. And so that's what everyone who's verified has done. Okay, now case study here. I was curious on some of these that are probably scammers. Well, are they really scammers? And if so, what is the scam, right? Really kind of some of these it wasn't clear. And so I'm going to show you, and actually she already removed me. She figured out that I figured out she was a scammer and got herself off here. But there's 2 other ones that are the same, right? And I'll show you. So this one that says AG, that's in Hangzhou, China. And it's this kind of ridiculous looking picture, right? And this other one that's in China also. And she's got a couple of pictures, but they don't show a face. And so I made a connection with 2 of these different girls in China. And one of them turned out to be a TikToker. And I think the only thing I can think of is she's just generating audience for her TikToks. And in the TikTok, I don't know, there was probably a scam there somewhere, but she wouldn't video chat with me, so I didn't follow up on that. But I did get one of them who would video chat with me, and that really made me wonder if she was actually a real girl in China, because I video chatted her and she looked like her pictures. I was like, what? That just did that's an advanced scammer if she is a scammer, right? So so I followed up and I chit chatted with her for a little while, off and on, and video chatted for a couple of weeks. well, a week anyway. I don't know, it hasn't been that long, but since I started getting in here. But and I'll show you some screenshots of this girl named um, Lee Lin. And like I said, she's already removed me from here, but it took a while to figure out what the scam was. So Lee Lin was an interesting study, a case study, because I had 99% certain she would be a scammer, but then when I'm video chatting with her and she's a real girl, now I'm starting to wonder, you know, seems a little too good to be true. So Lee Lin is a dancer who owns a dance studio in Hong Kong. She also has an internet marketing business. So that was already that was my first thinking about what the scam might be. Pretty quickly, I find out she's selling products on the internet and has a dance studio. But she seemed, because I could video chat, she seemed like a real girl. I'm like, well, maybe she really does have those things. She's divorced and what is she, 32 years old or 31 years old? I forget exactly. But anyway, just the story didn't seem totally, completely outrageous, just sort of a long shot. So I keep talking to her and she's trying to build rapport, and it's basically just an advanced scam. She doesn't answer real specific questions. She only can video chat at certain times in a certain like setting with the back, like the just like at a desk with the that thing blocking the view behind her, like it's just a little bit staged and weird. So I kind of figured it was a scam pretty early on, and it was kind of monotonous trying to build rapport with a fake scammer, you know what I mean? But anyway, basically took it far enough to realize that, yeah, the scam was going to be to have me invest in this internet marketing business. And it was relatively advanced, but really it was pretty silly because she's a girl in Hong Kong. She's Chinese, um, and and everything she sends is in English and apparently in U.S. dollars, and it still doesn't even make a lot of sense. And then the sales are all over the world in random places, and yeah, and even the thing she said a lot of stuff about it because she's so proud of it, right? This is the scam. Anyway, yeah, that's it, it was something along those lines. Now, unfortunately, I just couldn't go long enough to get to actually like where she wanted to push me to buy into this situation, but I mean it's super obvious and I'm getting kind of bored with it, It's like this is kind of ridiculous, but a lot of guys will not see these red flags and just go all the way, they'll become infatuated with this girl, especially you can video chat her, right? And she seems a real girl. Now, I don't know. I'm gonna keep talking to Leland as long as she'll keep talking to me. I think she's probably about quit talking to me, but I literally would fly to Hong Kong and meet her in person if she's really a real girl. Um, I suppose there's still this slight 1% chance she actually is a real girl with this weird story. And if she is, I'll go to Hong Kong and I'll find out. But anyway, yeah, that I think that all these Chinese ones, especially if they don't show you their face, they are the advanced scammers. They probably are. There probably are girls there who will talk to you on a video chat and try to form relationship with you. And so these are the more advanced scammers, and they do exist around the world. I know. Okay, so the final thing for this video, I told you I'd give you a little secret that I've used over the last few years dating that has really helped to weed out the non-serious girls and scammers. And that is to put something into your profile, usually toward the end, write something that is like a keyword or something for anyone reading it to talk to you about. And for instance, I always put into my profile that my favorite color is yellow. Please mention that in any correspondence to me so I know that you read all of this. And so I just make it kind of plain. And it's worked really well. I mean, I know that when a girl sends me a message back and mentions my favorite color is yellow, I know that she's read the whole thing, so she's not a scammer and she's a serious girl. So yeah, that's been really helpful. So yeah, that'll be it for today's video. Next episode is the last episode before we fly to Asia. So it's going to be an episode about all the important things, the essential things you need to do before you leave. So yeah, don't miss that one. The essential things to do before you leave to Asia is the next video, and then we're in Asia. So that's all for now, guys. We'll see you in the next one.